hardest things about being a non-practicing medium, like I don't do it for a living, is that sometimes you can't really reach out to families if you get a message, even if you can like verify that it's them. A lot of times, because it's kind of like being a detective, you know, if they give you a name, if they give you enough information, you can take the time and find their obituary or something, you know. Now it's a lot easier than it was, let's say 20 years ago, because there wasn't you know, Facebook and all these social media things you can kind of give out, you know, verification for. But I think the hardest thing is sometimes you will get to know a ghost and they kind of take you through their story. And if you're really open to it, that's why you have to really practice shielding and self-care when you're doing this type of work, because it's no different than, you know, a detective that gets burnt out, or any type of work where it's easy to take your work with you, sort of thing. But sometimes you can get to know somebody and hear all of these things about them, and when you recognize who they are at the end, and sometimes you never know, there's no closure there, because I don't physically see ghosts. I can sense them, I can intuit, I'm more like claircognizant. So I know it's just a, you know, I don't even like using that word because it just sounds like a know-it-all unless I have all the evidence and stats and shit. But anyway, and I sense them, and sometimes I can kind of figure out in my mind's eye what they look like. But also they can lie. Spirits can lie and like not tell you the truth too. And but to find out at the end that you were talking to a kid and you just realize all horrific things that they had to experience even before they passed, and they were just so young, you know. And just the life that they lost. Or to have to be like the one that kind of tells them they're dead because they didn't even know, you know. Imagine, you know, being a 5-year-old and not realizing that you're dead until almost 30 years later, thinking that, you know, the people that she was talking to, they just ignored her like everybody. She's like, oh, I can't. That's why I'm grateful that La Santísima gave me this opportunity to fulfill my promise to her, duty to others and service to others, because I don't get paid for what I do. As a mystic, you're kind of just, it is innately in me to want to know these things, to to bring back the magic of the ancients. And I think that as devotees and practitioners, we have that responsibility. And I think she called to us because in her, we found an acceptance that sometimes the world doesn't offer people. We don't judge each other by our religion because she knows she loves us. No matter what religion, what gender, it doesn't matter. And I don't even think she has an expectation because her love is unconditional. But in hopes that we pass that torch on, that we are the ones that hold that compassion before a person's death, or even at the time of their death that they wouldn't have had otherwise, so that they don't die alone. And they never are, but that in their last moments, like another human being saw them as human. That's why I post things without context, because sometimes it's not my place to disrupt the family's life again, especially if they've now grieved, and especially if that person is like missing, or or if they haven't found the body. Like I don't want to give them false hope if I can't help find them, And it just, so sometimes I will post messages and songs and things like that in hopes that maybe one day they'll find a way to guide their family or relatives or whoever to our page, and something will spark and they'll know that it's a message from that person, because it's something that only that person and them would know.